Welcome YouTube, this is Acid Roots and I've got more metal reviews. This one is going to be Drowning Pool. So this album came out after the death of David Williams in 2002, and it was, they needed a new front person, so they had Jason Gong Jones, and Gong is the nickname. This, there's a lot of kind of discussion as to whether or not Drowning Pool past 2001 is worthwhile. At least it seems that way. Now, obviously, Drowning Pool, one of their biggest songs is the song Bodies, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. But what may not be as well known as there were other hits off that project. If you get a signature song, it's not always that these guys are just known for that. So another one is Tearaway. That's the one I've been hearing on radio stations. I don't mind it as much, or it's not so much I don't mind it, but it is another song worthwhile of Bodies. And so I was thinking the same thing about Desensitized, their second album. The biggest song on this project is going to be Step Up, which charted about at the same relevance as Bodies did, but then the second and third singles just did not make as much noise, and that's also compared to the Sinner album. So that leads it to believe that this album kind of was a plunker, or a clunker rather. And Jason Jones left in 2005, about a year after the album came out. So what I thought, this album is not bad whatsoever. I just think some of it may have had to do this with fans being kind of mixed about what had happened to Drowning Pool in 2002. Now, definitely this sort of thing, now that the dust is settled and it's been over 10 years, it's kind of like, well, now it's, the capabilities of looking at it, there was some good music, and it's just about paying attention to that second and third single as well as the rest of the project. I was looking for other album cuts, other songs that people liked on the project, just to see if there's some ones that were performed that were favorites and that sort of thing. But it was said that they didn't really even perform that many songs off this album. So it caught a lot of backlash, more so than I expected. But I still think that this album is going to get a 10. And I actually did not like all the singles. The one I did not like was Love and War. That one's a more laid-back song. It's not a song I dislike. It's kind of a song I'm on the fence about, but it's still one to have something extra to, if you're just not in a jived-up mood. So that leaves two singles besides Step Up. There is Killin' Me, which I think fits the mold nicely with, that's kind of like Tearaway, which, that once again, this is the biggest thing, is the fact that the second single is like a nice placeholder. It can definitely take command if you let it, and so that's something to respect. But yeah, so that was what I thought of this album. So the songs that I appreciated on this project, I liked most of them except for song number 4 and then Love and War. So those were the two ones out of 11 that I did not appreciate. But a few of my favorites on here were Hate, Forget, Nothingness, and Think, and Bringing Me Down. So Hate is, lots of these are kind of gnarled up. There were times that they reminded me of Godsmack, but there were also times that they reminded me of, I'm trying to think of who it was. There was someone else that they remind, Saliva. So that, between the two, I think Saliva is from the South, so there was some traces of that, just the way that they sing their hooks. But so yeah, there are songs that get pretty riled up to. Those were the ones that I was aiming for, but they handle the songs well. So, like, I think Hate and Forget are two of the most riled up ones. Yeah, so this album gets a 10, and I'm also going to say that the social score I will give an 8. No, I'll give it a 7, just because, you know, it just depends upon how much is going to go into the consideration beyond the song Step Up. So, you know, if you listen to me, you'll know that this is not the only good song, but it's still a big one. So, and the social score means how well this plays around your friends. So the future, I think Drowning Pool dropped an album this year. They've had 4 front men, and we're on the 4th one right now. So he's done, like, I think this is his 2nd album. So I'm going to get to those at some point. And yeah, can this record be top? Not really. I think the only thing it could have really used is just more recognition. I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, people compare it to like Godsmack's first album or Limp Bizkit's Significant Other or some of these. It may not quite stand up as high, but it can definitely entertain. That's the word. All right, subscribe for more fun.